Pursuant to my last video, which was made on the 7th of February 2023, I received several messages. One in particular was an audio message in reaction to the video, and it so resonated with me that I wanted to share that with you. I want you to listen to the audio message. I'll pause and then come back.
My sister, yeah, thank you for. I listened to your broadcast. That is exactly what we're suffering here in Nigeria now. The situation is getting worse on daily basis. On daily basis. You know, yes, I'm talking to you now. My children are out of school. I can't even pay school fees because what? I can't even access money. I can't do transfer. Okay, they say no cashless policy. You take your card, you open your app to collect money or to do transfer. No, not going. You can't go to the bank. The kind of crowd there is as if there is war in the bank. I'm telling you, it is that bad. I have money in the bank. I can't have access to them. I'm telling you, it's too bad. The situation is becoming worse on daily basis. One don't know. I don't even know what to do. They are not receiving the old money, and you cannot get the new money. You can't do transfer. You can't even have access to your money. You have money, but you can't have access to it. I'm telling you, it's too bad. It's that very bad. So my brother, my sister, we are in a mayhem. I'm telling you, the situation is getting worse on daily basis. I have money in the bank. I can't have access to it. I can't even go to the bank because the kind of crowd there. Okay, you say, okay, let me do transfer to somebody or to the school. The app is not opening. There's nothing I can do. It's terribly here. It's terrible. I don't know, like wisely said, this economic warfare. I don't know what they try to turn us into. To beggar, or even who are you going to beg? Tell me, who are you? The issue is that both the poor and the rich, everybody is suffering it. The only people now that have maybe can say that is those that have a maybe domiciliary account. Maybe you go and withdraw dollar, then you now go to pounds, then you now go to Amausa, and then you can now change it at a different rate. If the rate is 65 or 70, as case may be in dollar, what they will tell you, if I'm giving you transfer 750, if you want cash 60,000, they will cut 13,000 naira out of it. So it's that bad. People should just pray for us. Yeah, we're in a mayhem. We're just suffering here. I don't know what the country is trying to, what it's turning into. But all the same, we still keep our fingers crossed and praying to God to help us. Personally, I'm in a deep shit. You know what it means? Your children being at home, and you're looking at them. They're not going to school. Oh God, it's a big shame. Well, pray. There's nothing we can do. We have no option. I'm just praying, and also should be praying for us and see if we can survive this. As well. Thank you for your lecture. I listened to it.
This story is just a microcosm of what is truly going on with people in Nigeria. And like I mentioned in my last video, the economic crisis taking place right now in Nigeria, there's always been an economic crisis in one way or the other, but this is really the height of it at this point, and I describe it as economic warfare. It has leveled out the playing field between the wealthy and the poor. And you will hear the person say, who do you borrow from? As you heard in the message, even dollars and pounds are being sold. Okay? And by sold, I mean not your usual exchange, not your usual exchange rates. I'm talking about beyond the exchange rates. they are deducting 13,000 naira from your money if you choose cash as opposed to a transfer. And when you transfer, you don't even have access to pay your children's school fees, to buy food or other necessities, because the app used to transfer somehow does not work suddenly. Is it a coincidence? It may be, but when one person complains and then 12 other people complain, the same complaint from the same regions, I'm inclined to say that it is not a coincidence. So this is economic warfare. And then when you have the kind of government that we have in Nigeria, that quite frankly is sitting aside and watching this happens, and in fact is on the driver's seat of this economic crisis, it's abominable, it's opprobrious. This is the reason why people are engaging in civil disobedience. If everything was great in Nigeria, if everything was perfect, the movement for a restoration of Biafra would not be as strong as it is today. People have basic human rights, and when you violate those human rights, you will have a rise, in opposition. In life there is cause and effect. Cause and effect. The reason for this movement is because since the war ended, since that genocide is what I like to call it, the promises that were made were not kept. Southeasterners remain marginalized, and this goes way beyond marginalization. Killings, unequal treatment, various kinds of discrimination that run afoul of what a democratic state is supposed to represent, that run afoul of human rights. And then you have every aspect of the governance of that country, from the presidency down to the judiciary, the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judiciary, and including the military, the police, all run by people from the same ethnic group, who oftentimes are not qualified or are not more qualified than someone who's a Biafran or someone who's Yoruba. But because you don't fit into that mold, because you're not a Muslim, because you're not Fulani, because you're not from a particular part of the country, then you don't get the position. You have to conform in order to get the position. Even academically, what's required to get into university is different based on what ethnic group you're on. So if you're Igbo, if you're from the southeast, pick any part of the southeast, I'm Igbo, so I will always use Igbo as an example. If you're from the southeast of Nigeria, you're required to get a significantly high score than somebody from the core north. That's not fair. So when you talk about why people are agitating for a sovereign state of Biafra, this is why. These are some of the reasons why. That recording that you've just heard, that is why. Nigeria is where dreams go to die. The truth remains that there are many, many, many thousands, if not millions, of Nigerians that are hardworking, but they are just unlucky in that country because it is set up to keep them down. You see videos of kids inventing amazing things, where in the West, these inventors, these children would get scholarships, they would go far, the government will invest in them because what they are bringing forth is for the good of society. But no scholarships for them, at some point their dreams die. They end up doing menial jobs. And then you wonder why people are agitating for an independent state of Biafra. You wonder why people, different ethnic groups right now, it's not only the agitation for Biafra, we have the agitation for Oduduwa Republic. Different people are rising up because now the veil has come off their eyes and they can truly see what's going on. The system is set up to keep a group of people down. Imagine yourself in his shoes and not being able to fend for your family. And like you said, it's not because he doesn't have the money, but it's because he can't even access the money that he has. How do you expect then people moving forward to trust the system, to trust the banking system and put their money in the banks? You talk about a cashless society, but how can you be a cashless society but you have no means for the people to spend their money, to transfer their money, to pay in a cashless way? You have people in a society where there is no light. You have generators running probably round the clock. The system just isn't set up for a cashless society. So that's just all talk, nonsense talk. You have no proper internet service. You need a mobile device to be a cashless society. You need a bank card, and then if you're using an app, it needs to work for a transfer. When you disable these things, then how do you expect people to survive? And you will hear the person say, who do you borrow from? There's now a level playing field between the rich and the poor. I get messages from people that say, you're comfortable in the United States and you want to tell us what's going on here, you want to talk about what's going on in Nigeria. Well, my response is, what kind of a person would I be? What kind of a human being would I be if I am comfortable in the United States, and I thank God that I am, but choose to ignore what's going on with my brethren back home? That's not the kind of person that I am. So, as long as I can, I will continue to speak out against injustice, and that is part of the reason why I became an attorney. It's not just people abroad going on social media and complaining. These are things that are actually happening. I myself, for example, a few times a year, I like to donate food items to people in my maternal and paternal villages. I couldn't do it this month. The reason I couldn't do it this month, and today is, what day is today? Is this the 17th?
Yes.
Today is the 17th of February 2023. I couldn't do it this month because of the economic crisis. When you send the money, they can't even access the money to buy foodstuff because the bank will only give them 10,000 naira. In my video 10 days ago on the 7th, I said 20,000 naira because at first it was 50,000 naira, then it went down to 20,000 naira. Now I hear that they can't even get more than 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira, what is that going to do for you? A bag of rice is about 47 to 49,000 naira. So I couldn't do it because even if I send the money, they won't be able to access more than 10,000 naira. So what can they buy? The money will end up being stuck there. So this is also a way to prevent those of us who are abroad who would like to help our fellow citizens, fellow human beings back home. We can't help them. So the system now is set up to cut off the lifeline that our people have. That lifeline being those of us abroad. So I'm speaking from experience. Nigeria has been doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. It doesn't matter who becomes your president. It matters who actually runs the country, and it's not the president alone. It matters about the system that is set up to govern the country, because that's going to dictate what that so-called president does. The president is only going to be a figurehead. We're not clamoring for an Igbo presidency. See, that's where a lot of people get it wrong in their argument. Wanting to restore Biafra is not about getting an Igbo president. Because if you are really, truly a one Nigerianer, let me call it that, you would not be seeking an Igbo president. You'll be seeking for a president that is going to be fair to all people, all ethnic groups. So it's very contradictory for people to say they want to maintain Nigeria the way it is, but things will get better if only we just have an Igbo president. An Igbo president is not a solution. We don't just want an Igbo president. We want to be able to have the right to determine our future and for the future of generations to come. We no longer want dreams to die. We no longer want innocent people to be killed without recourse. The evil going on in Nigeria is permeating so deeply in the society that the threshold of tolerance of evil has risen. People now hear about death and it's like just another Friday, no biggie. People are agitating because they are looking for freedom. Freedom to live a dignified life. And that is the message I want you to take from this.
There are claims that some persons were killed.
While everything was moving smoothly, all of a sudden, people started complaining that the way things are is not fair. We all are citizens. We only came to at least plead with the bank, at least to pity us. But while coming, police came out of the central bank, started shooting, attacking us. They even killed people. About 3 persons died today. That is what led to everything you've seen. Nobody wanted to destroy anything.
More footage from amateur videos shows some corpses. Channels Television also finds a crowd of angry residents standing around one of the corpses near the Ring Road axis.